Hello, it's Wulzy. Welcome to day 1 of build week. This week I am going to upload one video every single day and it's going to show the progression of me making this level, Trippy. Today's episode is going to be me making the layout and the gameplay for it. While I am building this layout, you will be able to tell how far I am into making it because I've got a background trigger right here that is fading to this color of blue on a 65-second fade time, so as the level goes on it will get more and more blue. This is just a temporary thing, just so you can tell how far along I am into making the layout without me having to pause and go, oh look, it's so many seconds. First things first, alpha trigger, very beginning, group 1, 0 fade time, 0 opacity. Then I'm going to put a blue pad right here. This is going to go on group 1, and I'm also going to put a blue portal up here too on group 1. Thinking of having a custom ground on this level somewhere. I'm going to listen for when the music comes in. Right there. So I'm going to make this group 2, and I'm also going to put a move trigger down here that has this block on a constant lock on player X with just 9999 move time, so it never ends. And here we have our custom ground. When I do come to make the actual custom ground design, I'll just stick this on group 1, and there you go, it's invisible. I could just put a ground right here where the cube is sitting. But for now, I'm going to keep it off group 1 just so I can see what I'm doing. Nice jump pattern right there, good music sync too in my opinion. Just going to fill this with spikes again. We've already got some decent structures going on. Quite minimalistic up above, as you can see there's no objects up here, but that'll come later. Just realised that I haven't mentioned what difficulty I'm going for. This is going to be a 7-star level, because if I just go into my level page right here, you will see that I don't have a single 7-star rated yet. Just putting a basic transition right here as the music eases into this part. Ship section, and I'm also going to toggle group 2 on the edge of here. There we go. This makes it so that when we fly through here, that block disappears. Once this is decorated, the custom ground will probably move off with some sort of easing instead of just being toggled like that. But for now it's useful because this block is actually going to be invisible when we put the ground spike in. In this ship section, I want to diversify the structures a little bit, so I'm going to add some of these little slopes, and there's going to be these flat spikes on the edges of them. And there they are. There are the spikes right there. I'm going to space it out from that other block right there. That looks pretty decent to me. I'm also going to put a slope right here that pushes you down onto this block, and this is going to extend outwards. And there's going to be a couple of spikes at the end of here that you have to fly on the roof to avoid. One thing that is very useful to do is to tick this box on the portal right here, and it shows you the boundaries for this game mode. Alright, I've got a dual portal right here, but this block is not centered, so what I'm going to have to do is select all of these blocks, go into the build tab, click on this block, and just move it one up and one right, and there you have it. It's now in the center of the screen. These dual ships will now fall to the bottom at the same rate. Alright, I think I'm done with this ship part now. I'm done with the dual part. Here we go. Down, up, down, back through here, fly through here. I'm liking having these symmetrical structures, to be honest. In the middle of the screen, flipped on both sides, and then this transition is pretty simple too. I could just have a portal right up here that you just fall into. I think this structure is pretty interesting, trying to diversify them a little bit. I mean, I haven't actually structured all of these blocks yet, they're not just going to be floating rectangles, but I kind of like having this one big Waluigi shaped piece. Got this idea for gameplay right here, but I'm not sure if you can just jump straight over the pad and just get out of there unscathed. You can, okay, so that's a flaw. Change this halfway across and then put a double. That actually doesn't look too bad. I want to try this flying ball transition from here, because you can get some serious height going through there, and that looks super cool. It makes you feel like you're floating, which is kind of how the song is changing to feel at this part, so I think it's appropriate. Now what I'm trying to do here is make the gameplay feel completely irregular, because the song is changing so much. I want to reflect this in how the level is progressing. So continuing the same block format right here where it just snakes down and then the spikes right here to stop you from doing that. I think this is pretty creative gameplay. I don't think it's that difficult to sight read either. Oh, I'm going to have to put H blocks. H blocks basically allow the player to hit their icon off the top of a block. So right here, I was getting launched through the block because I was using ignore damage, but There we go. Now I actually get launched off the block. Gonna move this orb one space upwards, or half a space I should say, just so they don't get hit by the spikes at all, because that would be quite buggy. And then maybe just make a wave section right here. And to ease this transition in, I'm gonna need some D blocks, which allows the player to slide. Gonna play from 0 once again, just to showcase what I've made so far, and also plan some changes I need to make. So I don't know if you noticed, but in that playtesting right there, I noticed that when the wave falls off a block, the trail looks very awkward. So I'm going to make a required input on the edge of this block, just so that doesn't happen. I guess that looks cool, instead of just having a regular wave format. And then also, I could flip this. And there you go. There is a coin. Let's playtest this. Oh, right, you see, I don't like how high up that is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move... That's not the button. I'm going to move this up 1, assign it to the next free group, which is 3. I'm going to put a move trigger all the way down here, which sets that down a block. So the wave boundaries are actually based off of this block, but the portal is down here. You see how that's perfectly centered on the screen now? I'm going to break these structures up right here. Ah, there isn't even a structure up here, so I could just have this really open, and then bring a new one in up here. And I want to have some sort of spike format right here. Like so. I think that's kind of original to have just sitting there. It's also doing the symmetrical thing again. I like that. The slope ends here, the slope begins here, then there's a block in the middle. Cool. D blocks are in. You're gonna have to go up and slide on the top or bottom. Nice. I like that. My wave structures will never be this clean ever again. Holy cow. Nice. I'm a really big fan of this wave part. I think I've done this pretty well. Varied all the structures to save it just being a regular corridor. I've also got a break, which is the cube portal right here. Not sure if I want to bring it back into wave after a jump. 40 seconds into the layout and we still haven't used a speed changer. So here is the very first speed changer, the 1.5 times speed changer, and we've also got a UFO portal right here. Gonna bring back these slopes with the spikes on just to make links between different parts in the structuring. There we go. A little bit of this going on. So you got to rest on part of the slope where there's no spikes. Let's just see. That's cool. I like that. I've changed this slope to be longer with less height just to feel a bit more natural going through here. And also this is a lot more open than it used to be with a lot more space, just to stick to the difficulty that we had in mind at the beginning. I'm not sure if this is too enclosed or not still. I'm keeping this same format from earlier with the long structures and kind of tight spaces between. Not sure if this is still too tight for 7-star though. Surely not. I'm doing that classic featured level thing where you put the dots in to tell the player where to jump. Part of me wants to change this to an easy demon, but I never get easy demon. I only ever get medium or insane 9, so I'm just going to scrap that idea. I'm going to make a quick nerf. This portal is going to sit right here instead of being on the floor, just so you can get away with a bit of a smaller jump going into it. I was going to cover this up like so. In fact, I could just extend that down and do that. There you go. This is the benefit of playtesting like this. What if I just swap to ship halfway through? Is this on the same? No. Gonna have to do the classic trick. Gonna swap to a ship. I want the portal to be right here. If I tick this, the boundaries aren't lined up, so I'm going to move it up 1 and have it on group 3, which it already is. So in the editor, it's going to show up right here, but in reality, it's here. That flows pretty well, I think, although it's a bit of an awkward space up here. That's very easily fixed. I just moved the saw. I'm planning on having these as floating rectangles, so to fill up the space, I'm going to put a big snake that runs all the way up here. Alright, so instead of having this so high, I've moved it down 1, created this curvy flying I wanted after the straight fly, down to this portal right here. You go through the cube and it's another flowy sort of orb section. So I've moved this jump down 1 block just so you can get the jump consistently every time, but just in case you don't, there's a slope to stop you falling down. So I think this is pretty consistent, pretty fair gameplay at the moment. Except you can miss that black orb sometimes. I don't know how I'm going to make that. Okay, I've done something cool. If you just jump, you fall through, you have to hit the green orb, and boom, you get across like that. And then it flows towards the end. This portal right here is the 1 minute mark, but I'm taking advantage of the song quietening down towards the end to add a couple more structures that you got to fly through, just to make it a little bit more intense, as these are quite tight spaces. There wasn't much to say while I was making these parts, so I'm just going to play through them now. This is a cube part with lots of gravity portals, very flowy, very uppy downy. This part's pretty cool with the green orb and the yellow portal, and then this part is just a slow ship section that you gotta get through the end. Oh, I'm gonna move that saw just a little bit further out, because if anyone drops down there, they're dead. And there we go, fixed. And I'm gonna play through this one more time, and we've finished the layout. All I've got to do is structure it. Alright, so all that's left to do with this gameplay is structure it, add a couple more structures, for example on the top of this cube section, just to fill up a bit of space. I always get the green line to run all the way through the level, and usually when I structure things, I either watch a YouTube video or listen to something, so I'm going to make this a time lapse, just adding some varied structures on the top and bottom of these, and then also adding in a few to fill in the space. The ship sections are mostly done for that. They just need to be connected to the ground, but other sections like this robot will also need a little bit extra work. I will see you after the time lapse. Alright, I have finished the layout, the gameplay, the structuring. That is the end of this episode. I'm going to showcase the layout right here. Thank you for watching this episode of Build Week. Leave a like and tune in tomorrow if you enjoyed. Have a good day.